Excuse me. Oh. All right. All right, so tonight, I'm going to make this pretty short. Tonight, I've got a whole bunch of stuff lined up in the shop I need to get to. Good evening, Bo. Good to see you, bud. Something I've been working on for a little bit with the factory and Everlast corporate since I've come on. Oh, man. Sorry, guys. I got choked up. Too much volume. Let me go down. That better? Last week, people were saying it was too quiet, so let me go down a little bit. There we go. Anyway, so one of the things I've been working on since kind of coming on board with Everlast in a little bit more official manner was an added strain relief, which you can see there. So we've added a strain relief to the Nova torch. So I know a lot of people had seen where your power lead comes out of your dense connector, that it would fold over and it would create a real tight pinch right here at the, let me go down a little bit more then. Sorry, guys. Is that better or is that too quiet? It's always something. It's always something when we're live. At least our internet's better and the camera's not cutting out all the time now. All right, there we go. Okay. Needs to be much quieter than I thought. Anyway, so we are testing now a strain relief. It's kind of hard to see. So we've got an added strain relief on the Nova torches I'm testing right now. I've got one set up on my 325 EXT. This is a secondary torch that I'm going to take into work and put some heavy hours on it. But like I said, it's still in the testing phases. We're looking at maybe probably around December. I believe that machines will start shipping with these if everything's good with them. But we are going away from a rubber line and going to a silicone line. A lot more durable, a lot more resistant to chemicals. Because no matter how many times we say it, people are still using like RV coolant or something weird, or automotive antifreeze, and it's just degrading that rubber. So because we've had a couple issues here and there, we're going to go to a silicone line, added strain relief, so you can see you can fold this thing over. Gosh, it's so hard to see. You can fold it over, and it doesn't pinch at the dents. So I'll zoom in. So that's the new strain relief. So that's the new strain relief we're working with now. Let me come around so you can see. I've got my torch actually ran down underneath my table, and with the strain relief, it's not pinching like it does on the older style. So as long as testing goes good with this new strain relief, we're going to implement it. And you guys should see them start coming out with machines. Like I said, I think around December or so. So let me put this off to the side. So be on the lookout for the new torch design. All right. Like I said, I wanted tonight to be pretty fast. I do a lot of aluminum. That's kind of what I'm known for. So no big surprise. One of the things we haven't really done is shown side-by-side differences on a part, doing both like a standard, like a 5 cup with a standard collet and collet body, and then also doing like a bigger gas lens like I typically run. So what I'm going to do tonight, these are 1/8 inch 5052 material, and I'm going to weld them up both with 4043 1/16 and then the 55, 54, 332nd with both cups. Kind of show you guys the difference between cup and filler. And we can, I'm going to mess with the machine quite a bit. So right now I've got it set at 141 amps, 120 hertz, 35% balance. And so as I switch cups and filler, I'm going to change the machine around quite a bit, like go up to 190 hertz, go down to 100 hertz. I might go to like 30% balance, just to show you guys that, because I get a lot of questions about, oh, what's your setup? What's your settings? So I really want to show you guys that it's really not about the settings. The setup helps a little bit. You know, you can be pretty wrong on your cup setup. You know, if you're running like a 16 cup at 60 CFH, I mean, we've shown it works, but there's definitely better options. But yeah, basically just want to run through some parts real quick, show you guys some positioning. You know, we went through how to build my little stand a couple weeks ago. So show you guys how I use that with some parts and position them, get them to stand up the right way, make it easier to weld, and then just show you as far as settings go that it's not going to really matter that much. Ken, as far as coolant goes, Prax Air has a house brand coolant, but I think it's just a rebranded Miller coolant. It's really, I've been running it for almost 10 years now and never had a coolant related issue. It's really easy on the pumps. It has a lubricant in the pump, or a lubricant in the coolant for the pumps. It doesn't conduct electricity. I mean, it's a really nice coolant. The Miller coolant is also really good. That'll be one Miller product that I will recommend. The Miller coolant is actually a really, really good product. I do recommend it. I've recommended that for quite a while too. No issues with it. So anyway, enough of that. Let's get started. So we're going to start out running our number 7 cup at 20 CFH. We'll throw a quick grind on here. Oh, so I'll run the 7 cup first in kind of my standard settings that I like, which right now, like I said, we've got 140 amps. We're at 120 hertz, 35% balance, which is pretty much my do-all kind of setup. I don't really stray from that too much. Every now and then I'll switch it up a little bit, but we'll go ahead and weld up one run with the current settings. I'll go to a super high frequency, make another run. We'll compare them over here on the close-up camera, and then we'll switch cups and do the same thing. Do the same thing with the 5 standard. Let me tweak this a little bit to get the fit up better. A little too much. How long do your diamond wheels hold up on your sharpener? So John, I've been running this CK Turbo Sharp now for about 9 months, and I'm out here pretty much daily TIG welding. I haven't changed the wheel yet. I haven't even switched it to the other side, and it's still super sharp. I mean, I don't feel like it has any wear on it at all. So at work, we've got 4 welders at my day job doing aerospace work, so we are constantly resharpening our tungsten to keep a nice, clean, sharp point on there. I've been running the same wheel now for about the same amount of time, probably 7 or 8 months, and it's starting that you can tell it's a little bit dull. The nice thing with the CK, it's got 4 different positions for the head, and it hits 4 different parts of the wheel. So that one wheel, you can get a lot of use out of one wheel. They are expensive. I think they're like $80, but I'll probably use this wheel for 1.5 years. At work, we might go through 1 a year. So this kind of depends on. It's kind of subjective because it depends on how much you're using it. Anyway, there we go. let's get this tacked up. We'll make a quick run. I'll throw the camera on. Knock my gas off. So yeah, we are live. Let me clean this up real quick and we'll get reset. Sorry guys. I was playing around too long and forgot my gas was off. All right. Now that we've wasted a bunch of time. No, I do that all the time, especially doing the live stream. Man, because I'll be out here for like an hour setting up and I'll turn the machine on, start getting everything set up. I'll make a couple quick test runs and then I'll go back inside and eat dinner. So I'll turn my gas off and man, I need to like write it on my table to turn my gas back on. All right. Go ahead and throw that camera on. All right. I'm going to switch you guys over to the art cam real quick so I can try to see. Oh, I need more light. Sorry. I'm all over the place tonight. There we go. Oh, one of these days we'll get started. All right. Try to adjust this and get you guys back on the... Dang it, come on. There we go. Sorry. All right. That was nice and tacked up. Double check. Okay. All right, so the way I've got this position, instead of trying to run something like uphill or, run it flat from the table running up, that's why I've got these blocks. Try to make it as easy as possible for yourself. So now we're basically welding this in the flat position. That's why having these blocks and such can really make a big difference. Well, it looks like you guys... There we go. All right, let's make this first run. So 141 amps, 121 hertz, 35% balance. Number 7 gas lens. The camera's bumping up against my table, so I'm losing my torch angle real bad. That was a bad run. Maybe get back out. I'm going to have to readjust the camera. Oh, the joys of a show. That was kind of a wasted run. Camera was buttoned up into the table and I couldn't rotate my torch. So yeah, Richard, I dipped my tungsten too. All right. All right, that was kind of a wasted run, but let's go ahead and we'll crank up run this out with the 3/32, then we'll switch to 1/16 on the next one. So we'll go up to 191 hertz now, and we will go down to 25% balance. So running about an extra 70 hertz, going down in balance by about 10%. Wow, this is awkward as hell. All right. So we get a nice keyhole there. I'm going to have to adjust the camera. I need to bring you guys more from the top, looking down on the cup and not so much looking at it from the side. Let me readjust this thing again. Sorry, guys. Can't see where my torch is. All right, I got to put you guys back on the big screen. I can't see where I'm at with my torch. It's too dark. I still can't see. This is turning into a cluster. There we go. This might be a little bit better. Yeah, filling rod kit would be pretty nice. Can't roll my torch over with this camera on it. Usually I can get those guys in one pass. Not with 2 pounds of weight hanging off the torch, though. All right, let's zoom in real quick. All right, so this side, let's see. So I'm not real proud of this run. Well, couldn't quite get the torch angle I wanted on that because of the camera, but you can see nice shiny bead. Very, very little etching. I can actually wipe some of that away. We come over here. So that was our, 121 hertz. There's our 190 hertz. You'll see almost no etching on that. So one thing I like to always tell people too, that people always say that, oh, a gas lens is going to make you have a lot of etching. Well, I don't know if you can get any less etching than that. There's no etching on that. So the whole a big cup gives you a ton of etching. That just disproves it right there. There's literally no etching on that weld. All right, so now with that last one, since I was running 3/32 filler, I could run a little bit of a gap. And if you guys saw on that last run at 190 hertz, I had a real nice keyhole running that whole time. So yeah, we can poke back through. You see we got real good penetration on there, running that keyhole. So now running 1/16, since I have a lot less filler, I don't want as much of a gap. Having a smaller diameter filler, the weld's going to run hotter anyway. And because I don't have as much heat control due to my filler size, I want to run a little bit tighter gap. So this side fits up pretty good. This side, I'm going to have to tack and hit just a little bit with a mallet to get it to suck in. So let me tack this real quick, and then we'll run this 1/16. I'll give that a little smack with a rubber mallet. So I guess we can show you that too. Sam, this is 1/8 inch material. So you can see we got a little bit of a gap in there. I'm going to smack that rubber mallet and close that gap up a little bit. So there we go. Now we've got that gap closed up. When I switch over to the number 5 standard cup, I'll go ahead and I'll focus in my little up close cam. I'll focus it on the machine, and you can see the amperage used is going to be quite different between 1/16 and 3/32. Oh, there we go. So here's some 1/16, 40-43. Dude, I can't roll my torch over with this big camera hanging off of it. So I usually try to get these in one little pass. There we go. All right. This might be hard to see. So we're still getting pretty good penetration. Get off a little bit. There's our run side by side. So we're running 120 hertz, 35% balance with 3/32 rod. Running 190 hertz at 25% balance, 1/16 filler rod. And the welds are, basically identical. That's the same side to side. So we're using, even using the same cup, we're using very different settings, 2 different grades filler rods in 2 different sizes. Weld still looks pretty much the same. I'd say like 98% the same. But let me see if I can get a little bit better shot. These aren't really rolled. It's kind of hard to show with the shadows in here. There you go. It's just a really nice, classic, tight fit up outside corner. All right, so let me adjust the machine. We'll go back up in balance and back down in frequency. So we're going from 191 to 121 and from 25 to 35% balance. So you saw with that, even that run at 35% balance, we had no etching even with this number 7 cup. So a lot of times people ask me like why I run such a high balance, and I like to run as much balance as I possibly can, using more electrode positive as I can, just to make sure that I get a nice clean bead without leaving a bunch of extra etching that's unnecessary. And for me, I can usually weld most parts with 35% balance. I get a nice tight etching line, if I get any at all, and I get a nice clean bead, whereas maybe I could get a little bit reduced etching at 25% balance, but I just feel that running the risk of having a dirtier bead just isn't worth it. So 99 times out of 100, whoever is buying your part, unless they're a real serious dedicated welder, they're not going to notice the difference between 5 thousandths of etching and 3 thousandths of etching. So might as well make it easier on yourself. Now, I'm not super worried about penetration on these welds, because when I weld these plenums up, camera got stuck in my hood. So here's a good mistake. Let's say I didn't dip my tungsten, but I'm welding along and my arm slips. So now I've got this little booger here. That's actually just filler rod. So we really don't have to clean that up. It didn't put a bunch of carbon soot on the material, so it's still clean. I just had a little foobar where my hand slipped. So we'll go ahead and do a restart there. I'm trying to make sure you guys are actually seeing this. My camera got loosened up. Sorry guys, I'm having a heck of a time getting the camera in frame. There we go. All right, so I am going to switch to the other end of my filler rod. So I've got a nasty little bowl on the end of. I'm going to start back just a little bit, melt it in. Wow. I got a feedback. That restart, but it happens. It looks, wow, it looks really bad there. So I kind of feedbarred that. Could have buffed it down, but whatever. These are scrap parts anyway. There you go. So we got a little bit of an etching line on this side. A little white dust there, but so pretty much no etching on this side. Very small etching line on that side. Again, that's with the number 7 cup and 1/16 filler. So you got 1/16 here on the, so be hopefully your right, and then 3/32 here. So see, very wildly different, settings, pretty much the same results. So now let's switch the torch setup around. Take off my gas lens. We'll throw on a standard 5. We'll go back down in gas flow. I'm actually going to have to switch tungsten sizes too. Give us a real quick sharpening. So just to add another variable, we'll step down to 3/32 tungsten size as well. So that was 1/8" tungsten on those last runs. And we'll go down to 3/32 on these. I cut tight. It's a little far back. No description of issue mentioned by title. Not sure what you mean there. Goodbye. What the heck? In the title description, what I was saying, like, it's not the welder, or it's not the settings, it's the welder. That's why we're playing with all the settings. That's why, we went from 120 hertz and 35% balance up to 190 hertz and 20% balance. Showing that you can get the same you can get the same results with wildly different settings. So that's what is meant by that. The welder, the person welding. All right. Let me go adjust my gas flow real quick and we'll get started again. So being that we're running a number 5 cup, we're going to go down to 12 CFH. Let me do a little test hit real quick. I don't run a standard cup and call it very often, so it takes me a second to get back in the groove. All right. Might as well throw you guys on the art cam for my test runs. All right. So yeah, Katie, that's what I was meaning by not the settings, it's the welder. The welder as in the person running the machine has a lot more to do with how whatever settings actually run. A lot of times it, like for instance, my good buddy Mark Winchester and I run extremely different settings. All right. So now we're back kind of to our home settings, as I like to call them, my base settings. That's the again 141 amps, 35% balance at 120 hertz. I'm going to knock this corner out just a little bit. There we go. So I'll go ahead and get you guys on the art cam for this tack. So because I'm running a 3/32 filler, I'm going to leave a little bit more of a gap in this fit up. Nice heavy tack though. All right. Alrighty. Hot run. It was a little dirty, actually. I need to not real happy with that. Let me swap this tungsten real fast. I'm not real satisfied with how that ran. Sure I got the right. Richard, I'll go over it in just a second again. What it was. Sorry, I'm digging. So we've been working on doing a strain relief where the power lead comes out of the dents connector. Right there. So the current torches do not have, where's my finger? Do not have that stress relief right there. And this is still kind of a prototype design. Just making sure that it actually works. Jay, I am huge, dude. My belly looks big in this shirt too, because it is. Let me get this set back up. But yeah, so we got that new stress relief, and then we're also going to a silicone line instead of a rubber line. So it's kind of a multifaceted update on the torch. So the silicone line should be a little bit more durable. It's also more flexible. It doesn't kink like the rubber line did. So it's kind of a twofold update. John, so I use Midwest tungsten. I don't think that was a tungsten issue. I think I have like a real off-brand collet in the collet body, like some weird Radner, and it wasn't seating in the collet body properly. I thought I could get away with it because it looked like it still fit up all right, but that weld actually came out pretty dull and dirty, and I think it was because I was getting a little bit of atmosphere contamination. So I'm going to run this one again with the 3/32 this at our same settings, because I was not very happy with how that last run went. And I cannot see. The torch came loose from the base. That was my problem. When the camera came loose from the base. Sorry guys, I'm trying to line this back up. With the glass cups, I can see it really well, but with the ceramic cups, I can't see the cup unless it's directly at the light. So I'm hoping that's pretty close. I'll stop about halfway through and double check. A much cleaner run. Let me know if that was in frame, guys. It's hard to see this cup when I'm trying to line this thing up. So we'll give you guys a little bit of a far away shot. I'll show you how I'm running this. See, I told you I normally do those in one run. See, that was a little bit cleaner. Again, I'm also not super used to running a standard cup, so it takes me a minute to get back dialed in. I think I could actually bump up my gas flow just a little bit. But so there's our standard 5. So there's our gasoline 7. You see the etching line, pretty minimal. And then here's our standard 5 cup. There's quite a bit of a glare on there, but there's still a little bit of an etching line on this side, just like the 7. Kind of the same way on this side. I don't have much of an etch line at all. So, CJ, my belly does look big in these shirts, I told you. Well, it's getting late enough. I thought this was going to go a lot faster, but getting the camera set up took me longer than what I was anticipating. So, anyway, I think it's pretty clear, guys, like I was saying, that, you know, we went from a 7 gas lens at 20 CFH at 120 hertz, 35% balance, up to 190 hertz at 20% balance, or 25% balance, whatever. And we basically had the same result with both 1/16 40-43 and 3/32 55-54. So we're running, you know, very, very different settings, totally different filler rods, different melting rates, you know, totally different composition of fillers, and we got basically the same results. I mean, like I said, maybe within like 98% of the same result. Even going over to the standard cup, I'm a little rusty using a standard, so some of it's, I'm going to say that I'm just rusty. Mark Winchester's probably laughing at me because I suck at running the standard cup now. But even then, I mean, we got the same etching, we got the same bead profile. Wasn't quite as shiny as I would have liked it. I think I could have gone up another 2 or 3 CFH on my gas and probably got that to shine up. But we still got the same basic results as we did with the number 7 gas lens with 1/8" tungsten. So that was kind of the point of the title, guys, is to show you, like, it's not about the settings. It's about getting a setting that's kind of in the middle, that's a baseline for you, which even now I used to weld everything at 190 hertz. And I thought that was the shit. I thought that was, oh man, how did I ever weld at 60? And then one day, I don't know, I was having a bad day and I started playing with my settings and I went down to 100 hertz. And man, I welded everything at 100 hertz for like a year. And I thought, oh, I don't know how I ever welded at 190. That was a terrible idea. And here I am, I'm at 120 hertz, 35% balance, and I use it on everything. So it's really about playing with your machine, playing with your welding style, and finding settings that work for you, not for someone else. And so my brother, we actually joke about this all the time. We say welding's a lot like baking chocolate chip cookies, where you have your recipe and I have mine. At the end of the day, they're both chocolate chip cookies and they're both good, but maybe I like a little more salt in mine. He likes a little more chocolate chips. I like a little more frequency. He likes a little less frequency. And so it's just, you're changing up the recipe a little bit, but you're getting the same result. And that's what we did. We changed up the recipe. We added a little more salt. We took away a little chocolate chip. We added some more vanilla. We got a chocolate chip cookie at the end of the day. So there you go. That's That's welding simplified. So nothing groundbreaking. Torch update, just to recap real fast before we get out of here. Let me get out of the way. I'll just zoom in. It's easier to see it on this camera anyway. Again, we're prototyping a strain relief on the dents. We're also going to a silicone hose instead of a rubber hose. A little more durable, also more flexible. Doesn't kink like the old hose did. So it should work out a lot better for you guys. So I will be testing those new torches for probably the next month and a half, 2 months before we actually start cranking them out. You'll probably see them come out with machines, I'd say late December. If they start coming out earlier, I'll let you guys know. Anyway, thanks for coming, guys. Said I wanted it to be a short night, and here we are, 7:52. So appreciate everybody hanging out. Yeah, have a good night, guys. Appreciate it. See you next week. Oh, Richard, mixed gas. So that's something coming back. I've got, what I'm running right now is actually an argon. So it's pure argon with 200 parts per million oxygen and 200 parts per million nitrous oxide. I've got some pure argon, and that can be maybe something we can try next week. I'll throw a tank of pure argon up there, and I'll swap my regulators between this little trimix gas and the pure argon. And I'll go into more detail about what this mixed gas is for, and you'll see it once we do some side-by-side comparisons with pure argon versus mix. But yeah, I run a mixed gas. I don't run helium, but this mixed gas runs a lot like helium. So I saw that and had to come back. Anyway, good night, guys. Have fun.